Sacramento, California. September 5th, 1975. Hot morning air, the smell of asphalt and car exhaust hanging over the street outside the Capitol Park Hotel. President Gerald Ford walks through the crowd without heavy protection. Close contact, handshakes, smiles. The kind of public appearance agents we're beginning to hate. People push forward for a better look. Then a woman in a bright red dress steps out from the crowd. The color stands out instantly against the dark suits and gray pavement. In her hand, a Colt M191 1.45 caliber pistol, loaded, 5 rounds in the magazine, less than 2 meters from the president. She raises the weapon directly at Ford's chest and pulls the trigger. Instead of a gunshot, there's only a hard metallic click, dry, sharp, metal hitting metal, the sound of a killing machine failing at the final second. The chamber is empty. She never fully cycled the slide. One tiny mechanical mistake changes history. Secret Service agent Larry Buendorf reacts immediately. He lunges forward and grabs the pistol before she can try again. Ford barely understands what happened. 5 live rounds were inches away from entering his body, and he never even saw the gun. The attack didn't happen in isolation. America in 1975 felt unstable. Vietnam had collapsed. Watergate destroyed trust in government. The country was exhausted, angry, paranoid, and underneath all of that, something darker was growing. The late 1960s counterculture was mutating into extremism. Radical groups, cults, political violence. The line between protest and fanaticism was disappearing. Lynette Squeaky. Fromm came directly from that world. She wasn't just unstable. She was part of the Manson family, one of Charles Manson's most loyal followers, even after the murders, even after prison. She still called him family. The attack on Ford wasn't only political, it was performance. A violent message designed to force attention back onto Manson and the chaos surrounding him. And Ford made an easy target. He looked accessible, ordinary, almost too relaxed for the presidency. The press mocked him for being clumsy. He stumbled in public, missed steps, tripped on stairs. People joked about it constantly, but agents weren't laughing, because Ford's openness created gaps in security everywhere he went. And in Sacramento, those gaps nearly got him killed. The Secret Service had one job: keep the president alive. And in Sacramento, they almost failed because of a woman in a red dress. That became the nightmare. Agents later admitted something uncomfortable. Most protection protocols in the 1970s were built around male threats, angry men, professional gunmen, political radicals, not young women who looked like runaway hippies. Lynette Squeaky. Fromm used that weakness perfectly. She moved through the crowd without triggering urgency. Too harmless looking, too strange to feel dangerous. Until the pistol appeared. And after her arrest, she didn't look frightened. Witnesses noticed something disturbing. She smiled, calm, almost proud, like the entire attack had been a performance she finally completed. Because for Fromm, this wasn't really about Ford. It was about Charles Manson. Attention, chaos, spectacle. She wanted cameras pointed back at the family, back at the cult, back at her. Agents were furious afterward, at themselves, at the protocols, at how close she got. Some demanded tighter control immediately. Body armor, greater distance, smaller crowds. Ford refused. "I'm not going to hide from the American people." And days later, he was back outside in public again, playing golf, smiling for cameras, acting like death had missed him by miles, when it had actually missed by one empty chamber. September 22nd, 1975, San Francisco. This time, death doesn't click. It explodes Gerald Ford exits the St. Francis Hotel surrounded by agents who are already under pressure after Sacramento. Eyes scanning constantly, hands close to their weapons. And somehow, another armed woman gets through. Sarah Jane Moore, a woman already known to federal authorities, an FBI informant, a person who had been questioned by police just one day earlier. Officers had even confiscated one of her guns. She simply bought another. Now she stands in the crowd with a .38 revolver pointed toward the president. Distance, around 40 feet. She fires. The sound cracks through the street like a firecracker inside a tunnel. Loud, metallic, violent. People drop instantly. The smell of burned powder hits the air. The bullet tears past Ford and smashes into a wall near the hotel entrance after missing him by only a few feet. And then instinct changes history. Oliver Sipple, former Marine, standing nearby. He sees the revolver move and lunges without hesitation, slamming Moore's arm sideways at the exact second she fires. Without that movement, agents later admit the shot could have hit Ford directly. The street turns into a human pileup, bodies colliding, people screaming, agents drawing weapons in every direction. For the second time in 17 days, America almost watches a president die in public. For about one day, Oliver Sipple became a national hero, the former Marine who knocked Sarah Jane Moore's arm aside and helped prevent another presidential assassination. Newspapers printed his name everywhere. Reporters wanted interviews, photos, reactions. Then the story changed. A columnist connected to Harvey Milk publicly revealed that Sipple was gay, without his permission. In 1975, that could destroy a person socially. And for Sipple, it did. His private life exploded into public view almost overnight. Family members pulled away from him. His mother reportedly stopped speaking to him completely. The attention became unbearable. He had saved the President of the United States and lost control of his own life in the process. The White House thanked him with a short letter. No major protection, no real support, no meaningful help once the cameras moved on. Meanwhile, the media kept circling him. Years later, Sipple was isolated, struggling with alcoholism, depression, and declining health. When he died in 1989, many people barely remembered what he had done. But history did, because one violent movement in a San Francisco crowd changed the direction of a bullet and quietly destroyed the life of the man who stopped it. After the arrests, investigators expected political operatives, organized extremists, maybe even a foreign connection. Instead, they found chaos. Lynette Squeaky Fromm arrives for questioning still dressed in red. The same handmade outfit she believed symbolized the blood of the earth. Agents try asking about Gerald Ford. She barely cares. Again and again, her attention returns to Charles Manson. At one point, she asks investigators a question that freezes the room. Did Charlie see me on television? That's when agents understand something terrifying. The president was almost killed by someone trying to impress a cult leader sitting in prison. Sarah Jane Moore is different, less emotional, more calculating. She talks about revolution, inequality, corruption, like she's explaining a political theory instead of describing an assassination attempt. And the worst part? Police had already detained her the day before the attack. Officers confiscated one handgun because they thought she was unstable. The next morning, she simply bought another weapon and walked into a presidential crowd. That realization destroys confidence inside the Secret Service. They weren't hunting invisible foreign assassins. They missed unstable people standing directly in front of them. And after September 1975, even ordinary crowds start feeling dangerous. And history continued in a completely different direction because of it. The attacks on Gerald Ford permanently changed presidential security in the United States. Before 1975, public access still felt relatively open. Presidents moved through crowds more freely, Handshakes were normal, distances were smaller. After Sacramento and San Francisco, the system hardened. Metal detectors became more common around presidential events. Protective barriers expanded. Crowd screening intensified. Sterile zones started appearing around public appearances so agents could control who got close enough to touch the president. The Secret Service also changed the way it profiled threats. Because both attacks exposed a blind spot, agents had underestimated women. After 1975, more female agents were recruited and integrated into protection teams, partly because the service realized danger no longer looked predictable. Meanwhile, Lynette Fromm and Sarah Jane Moore both received life sentences. Decades later, both women were eventually released. Neither expressed deep remorse. Fromm stayed loyal to Charles Manson for years. And Gerald Ford? He survived them all. Ford died in 2006 at the age of 93. The guns failed. The timing failed. One chamber stayed empty. One hand moved a fraction of a second at exactly the right moment.